without any further ado, we shall begin our tour of InkSoft's online store technology. So this webinar is really two parts. This is talking about technology that is useful for those of you selling decorated product to sell effectively online. The other sort of component of the webinar is we're going to talk about from the business perspective. So really it's a business strategy / technology overview. So I'll be weaving in the two as we go. What I'll do is get through our presentation. So I'll share a bunch of ideas and understanding with you. At the end of that time, we'll open it up for Q&A. So do me a tremendous favor. There is a Q&A function that's available in the dashboard. Make sure to log any questions you have. I suspect that many questions will be shared and will provide value to other participants today. So we will be fielding your questions at the end of today's presentation. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, I want to do a quick introduction. My name is JP Hunt. I'm one of the co-founders here at InkSoft. And for almost the past decade, InkSoft, being a software company, has created technology to help decorators get online and sell online effectively. And of course, in our presentation today, we're going to focus on a portion of the InkSoft technology, which is the ability to quickly create branded online stores for really any selling opportunity. So whether that be for a spiritware program, whether it be for a back to school program, team, club, organization, family reunion, company store, there are a million use cases for online store technology. I think the easiest way to understand the real purpose of an online store is to really replace a paper-based order form. So what all of our customers and prospects and decorators have in common is everybody needs to collect order, detail, and information. And traditionally that's been done in several different ways, but mainly through an order form or an invoice. Now, of course, there's a lot of friction and challenge with that. So here's an example that I have on my desktop here. I didn't mean to show this. This is kind of impromptu here. But I actually recorded, I went to back to school and dropped my kids off. And what do I see? I see Custom Ink as the spiritware provider. And I took a photo of myself holding a paper-based order form. So this is the traditional old school way to, of course, facilitate ordering programs. And as a parent, I have 3 kids in elementary school. Well, I don't know where my checkbook is. And, thusly, that's an opportunity that went lost. So with that said, online stores are really a way to let individual customers order separately and for a way for you to make the entire order process electronic, convenient, and easy, all while being professional. So with that said, let's now jump into the actual technology because we're actually going to show a lot as we go. Now, what I want to do is kind of start at the end, and we're actually going to work our way backwards. That might seem counterintuitive, but trust me, this will all come together as we make our progress. So let's start with the first example of an online store, and we'll talk about use cases here. So here we have, of course, an example of maybe a spiritware program. So starting at the very top, these are branded stores, so you can upload a logo to represent that organization, that team, that school, that club, whatever it might be. Now, of course, we've learned in marketing that when something's branded or personalized, it has more perceived value. So believe it or not, simply uploading a logo is special. This becomes a special portal for that organization to order their decorated product. So that's a point of differentiation that you can have against your competition, is you give something meaningful that's easy to use that lets your customers sort of transact with you. Now, in the event that you don't upload a logo, the store name would sort of append right here. Now, as we make our way down, you'll notice we have navigation here, so your customers can go back to the home page, they can view the different products. They have the ability to click Contact Us if they have a question or they want to know more. They also have the ability to sign into their account where they can see their order history, they can reorder, they can look at their gift certificate balance, they can manage their address book very much like you can do on PayPal. Now, as I scroll down here, you're going to see a series of different features. Now, the way InkSoft handles different function and feature on online stores is something that we call components. So the beauty is, as you create an online store, you can personalize it with the right series of function. So what you're seeing on screen now is a countdown component. This is a great way to build urgency, to let your consumers know that there's a certain limited time period where they can get the branded products that are available on that web store. That's another lesson that we've learned in marketing, is creating and establishing urgency drives behavior. So letting customers know that they have 1 day left to act to get these exclusive shirts or product is really a way to help influence and drive purchase intention, and of course increase your, really maximize the opportunity for that store. So here I can establish a title, a description, I can establish the end date and time for this particular campaign. Now, as I continue to scroll down, you'll notice something that is called the slideshow component. This is a great way to put in visual messaging along with actual text messaging, so you can describe a specific product. Hey, all t-shirts on sale, click here to shop t-shirts. So great way to put in promotional messaging, call to action, draw attention to a specific product. Now you can see as we continue to scroll down on the homepage, you see different products organized. So within InkSoft, you can choose which products display on the homepage of your online store by grouping them together and featuring them. Now, in contrast, these can be featured products. So think about putting items that are top sellers, products that are on sale, exclusive, or limited quantity. So this is a great way to take advantage of that. Now, at the same time, at the very top, your customers can hover their mouse over shop, where they can choose to look at all of the products that are available in that campaign. So to kind of bring this full circle, the online store is a branded experience. It's personalized and it's merchandised and priced so it's suitable to that particular selling campaign or strategy. So some stores might have a single product, whereas other stores are going to have a range of products. Regardless, InkSoft is going to let you configure the store for that particular purpose. Now, as we scroll down, another feature I want to share with you that is likely one of the most popular features within the online store technology, and that is the fundraising component. Now, of course, fundraising with branded and printed products is the best way to fundraise because the organization gets to promote their brand, their identity, they get to create awareness. There's, of course, a long life with printed products, so a t-shirt will be worn time and time again, so that organization continues to get value from it. So branded goods are an awesome way to help organizations raise awareness, but also raise money. Now, this feature allows you, as the decorator, as the print shop, as the promotional product distributor, this allows you to really put in the messaging for the fundraiser. What is the purpose and the intent? What are the details? What do people need to understand about this campaign? Then you can establish the metrics. So you can put in a timeline. So you can make, again, that fundraising opportunity limited to time. You'll see that time countdown display here. You also have the ability to establish a goal in terms of a dollar amount. So you can say that we're trying to raise $5,000 and we're giving 25% of profit to the organization, or you can do this based on units sold. So this is an excellent way to say, hey, we're trying to sell 500 garments or product or whatever it might be. So excellent way to be a solutions provider in your marketplace by going to organizations that are desperately starved for money, but are also the biggest consumers of your product. And you know who I'm talking about: schools, sports, athletics. These are organizations that always need funding and money. They always want to promote their brand and identity. Fundraising through this technology is the best way to do it. Now, I'll conclude with one other point on fundraising to really underscore the value of this. Think about the times where you get a knock on the door and it's the local football participant trying to raise money for travel expense, and they're selling coupon books and candy bars and all sorts of other garbage. This is that's not really scalable, meaning that kid can only walk a certain square or certain radius, right? So the impact is minimal because it requires that physical analog door knocking, whereas that same football player can share this URL for this store and implore his family and his network of friends on Facebook or social media to participate and to help that campaign. So think about the sort of the viralness and the spreadability of an online store. It can be shared for free. It can be perpetuated timely over and over again without added expense. Now, of course, at the bottom of a store, you will always have a footer, and there's different styles or themes of a footer. There's minimal, there's one with a map that will display, but most websites today will have a header, the topmost portion of an online presence, and then they're gonna have a footer, the very bottommost portion of a website. So no matter what, your online stores will always have a header and a footer. Now, I'll point out one other function. All of these online stores are 100% responsive. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually going to reduce the size of my browser window here. And you'll notice all of a sudden we went from navigation that would display in desktop to a mobile navigation display. So these online stores are responsive. So if you have a visitor on a tablet versus a phone, regardless if it's an iOS device or an Android device, the online store is going to present itself in a way that's going to be, as customer friendly and as intuitive as possible. All right, so let me jump to a few other examples before we then dive into how you can control the way your stores look and you can control the function and feature available on your online stores. So here's another example of how to take advantage of selling products. So here's an example of maybe a uniform program. And we think, and we know through data, and we know through actual metrics and results, one of the single greatest opportunities to decorators today is by offering fulfillment programs. Now, what does that mean as a strict definition? So think of it this way: a fulfillment program is a way for you as a decorator to offer a value-added convenience service to businesses and organizations. So think, and let me give you an example, I'll set this up. Let's say that I'm the marketing manager for a company, and we have a different range of employees. So we have laborers, we have executives, we have sales team, we have a support team. We do trade shows, we do events. So as marketing manager, I need to facilitate everything from uniforms to wearables to promotional products for giveaways and all sorts of different purposes, right? If I had a destination to log into, maybe it's password protected, where I could order on demand the items that I need for those different use cases, that would be a massive value service. And that's exactly what InkSoft users are doing with these online stores. They're creating a very simple portal to order marketing materials, whether it be wearables or promotional items, to those different organizations. Now, the paradigm here is, and really the difference and really the analogy is like that paper-based order form. Fulfillment has been done in very clunky ways that cause problems and friction, meaning as marketing manager, I now have to warehouse and inventory these products. I have to manage all of that product and be concerned about inventory levels and what happens for drop shipping. And when you can be a service provider and you can remove those complexities and offer a very simple way for that marketing manager to service his or her needs, you will win that business. So with that said, whether it be basic uniform programs for employees, InkSoft stores can facilitate that. I will point out, think about those programs where you have unified products, meaning every mechanic for this particular auto dealership will have the same uniform, but there's going to be personalization involved. So here's an example of, say, a red cap, long sleeve, solid ripstop garment. However, the logo will be decorated on the left chest, but there's going to be a name patch on the right, and we need to collect, or rather I had that backwards, name patch on the left. You can set up InkSoft in a way to collect that personalization information. So this just goes to the example of how InkSoft is very much an industry-specific platform where you can sell fixed goods, yet you can collect all the personal decoration information you would need at each particular product in order to facilitate those programs. So think this could be name and number, this could be employee name, this could be any 3 fields that you wish. And you have the ability to actually put in the name of the field. You can put in a description, you can make it required or make it optional. So custom personalization is something that you can control on each individual product. Now, the other use case is basic company stores. So many organizations, of course, want to have products for their employees. They want to have swag and giveaway and recognition-oriented product. So this is a great opportunity for you to showcase product and not think strictly in terms of your main segment, your main product line. So let's say that you're strictly an apparel decorator, offering a range of very targeted and very purposeful promotional items and intermingling those can be a great way for you to increase your average order value, increase your profitability and revenue for each of these campaigns. So great way to have one destination for all product rather than having that marketing manager, that customer, having to maintain separate relationships, one for promotional products, one for wearables. This is a great way to really be a one-stop shop. I think that's one of the biggest cliches used, but from a customer perspective, think of the convenience factor. When I don't have to chase down different product for my campaign or my event or my needs, that's all aggregated in one place. So with that said, you could do everything from strict apparel to strict promotional items. You can merchandise as you see fit for whatever selling opportunity. So what we're going to do now is switch gears. And again, walking backwards, we're now going to log into an online store. So I'm logging in as an InkSoft administrator, meaning I'm an InkSoft license holder. I can log in and I have access to the edit mode, which you can see at the very top. So here's a toggle, and if I click that toggle, this is going to give me access to all of the settings and controls for this online store. Now, before I dig into that, I want to share the rest of the functionality here. Here at the very top, we have a drop-down that lets you navigate to the main InkSoft admin portal, where you can manage orders, you can create new stores, you can control products and pricing. All of the core functionality for InkSoft is available in the admin portal. The other convenient function here is a directory of all of your online stores. So I can quickly navigate to an online store to affect any kind of editing or change for that specific store. Now, of course, on the furthest right, you have, of course, whomever on your team is logged in, and InkSoft does permit for unlimited admins and user accounts. So here I can securely sign out, I can access the help center, I can manage my profile. I will point out that your customers, when signing in, again, they have the access to manage their profile, so they can reset their password, they can look at all of their order history, they can reprint a receipt, they can view the status of that order, where it's at in the in transaction. They can also initiate a reorder from one convenient destination. Now they can also manage their address book. So just like Amazon, I have the ability to see the different addresses, so I can manage a home versus business address. I can delete and edit, so your customers can conveniently manage their own profile from this workspace here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is go back to the home page and go back to the edit mode, and now we'll jump into all the details that are available to you in terms of controlling this store. So with that said, the first option here is products. These are all the products that I've elected to add to this store. So very simply, I can choose to remove a product. I can edit a product. If I click edit, that's going to open up a new tabbed workspace and take me to the edit product detail screens for that specific product. So if I want to manage the sizes, inventory, pricing, maybe I want to mark a product on sale or remove a sale price. All of that can be done from this particular interface here. Point is, you have a convenient link right to that interface. All right, the next series of function is the style controls. Now, as I'll show you as we jump to the next sequence of our webinar today, which is creating an online store, as soon as you upload a logo to represent that particular online store, InkSoft will automatically establish a palette of web colors for that particular store. So you don't have to think about what is the primary, secondary, tertiary, complementary color. That's going to be automatically established. And what you can do is you can quickly preview what colors would, what would the button look like with a specific branded logo color. That can all be done from here. Or you can opt to really have full control over the colors for button and accent. The point is, here are your main styling controls that are automatically generated. However, you do have oversight and can control those. So if I want to control the font, if I want to choose the font size, that can all be done in real time from these controls here. So for example, if I change font, you'll see how that font just changed live on screen in real time. As I change the button accent color, you'll see that update live on screen in real time. So super easy way to control the way fundamentally the store looks. Now, as we move down to settings, this is all of the function that you would have inputted when you actually created this store. And I'm actually going to take you through the new store creation process, so you'll see how easy it is to actually make an online store. Quite literally, you can create an online store in minutes. So what InkSoft does is asks you a bunch of questions for that store. You can come back at any point in time and you can change any of the results that you have inputted. So if you need to change shipping options or production schedule or checkout settings, all of that can be done from this interface here. Now, the last thing I'll share with you about this interface is how to control the features that will be available on the store. So the verbiage that we use, or the vernacular rather, are components. So you can see if I hover my mouse over any feature, I get the option to edit or modify. So with that said, at the very top, we have something called the promo bar, and that's an option. So the promo bar can be a call out, a call to action, important instructions that you display at the top of your online store. and that animates in once a customer visits the store. So that's optional. You can choose how you want to position the text. Do you want it center justified, left or right justified? What is the background color? What is the text that will display in the store? You can change the color, of course. The next function is the header. So anytime you click edit on the left-hand side, you'll get a panel to edit the function for that particular component. And you can see what that looks like as you make changes and transformations. So whether it be increasing the logo size or the background color, or whether I want to display the contact us function, all of that can be done from the left-hand panel. Now, in some cases, you're going to be prompted to actually make change and modification right in line, meaning right in the view. So in this case, I clicked the countdown component. I have controls on the left to adjust the date, the time. So let's say I want to extend this beyond August, and we want to move the countdown to Friday, September 8th. You can see that the time available on that countdown just changed automatically. So as I scroll down, let me give you an example of something that you might change in line. So if I go to the fundraising component and I choose goal settings, well, you're going to get a little special window here that allows you to transform and control the fundraising details. So here I can enter in that fundraising goal. I can do a payout metric, whether I'm going to do a fixed dollar amount per unit sold or a percent of profit. I can establish the description. I can also establish the end date and elect to automatically close the store or the organization, or excuse me, the store on that end date. So for so many of our customers, they do a campaign and say it's only available during this time period. When it's over, automatically close the store to prevent others from placing an order, which can really foul up your production workflow and delivery process. So let me show you how to introduce new features. And of course, once you do introduce a feature, using the arrow function, you can control where that feature is going to be in position on the web store. But if you want to introduce new features, you simply click the blue icon at the very bottom right corner, where you have the ability to select from the component library. So in this case, I can introduce everything from like a component block. So if I want to put in a YouTube video, if I want to upload custom images, put in custom messaging and text, well, the component block will allow you to do that. So you can introduce a new function, you can control the settings for that function, and you can control the order in which that function displays. Now, one of my favorite features is the ability to quickly preview what this would look like on a tablet, on a mobile device, by simply toggling from desktop view, tablet view, and mobile view. So a great way for you to have all the confidence in the world that your online store is perfectly optimized for a mobile experience. You get to see that transformation simply by clicking from those icons. So once you're done making all your changes and updates, you can simply click Save and Publish, or you can opt to discard your changes. Now, if you forget to do either of those and you elect to move away from this interface, well, InkSoft is going to give you a message saying, hey, listen, you have some unsaved changes. Do you want to discard your changes, or do you want to go ahead and continue editing and click Save? So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and discard and exit. And of course, I can successfully sign out. So the last part of this is I want to jump into the admin portal. Now remember, the admin portal is the area in InkSoft that you can use to manage every function and feature and setting that's available in InkSoft. So whether that be accessing the order manager, accessing reports, managing products and pricing and art content, whatever it might be, this is the destination for all of that control. But what I'm going to do is really, since we're focusing on online stores, I'm going to hover my mouse now over web stores, and I'm going to click Create New. I'm going to take you through step by step the process for building an online e-commerce store. And I would venture to guess that this process is actually less costly in terms of time and overhead and personnel than making a paper-based order form that's visual, that's attractive. It's certainly going to be more advantageous than taking all of the paper order forms and putting them into spreadsheets and processing them the analog way. So again, the value of an online store is all the data that does transact through checkout is going to be made electronic. So with that said, let's now go through the step-by-step process for creating an online store. The interface is very simple. Mind you, this is also responsive, so you can be with a coach or an organizer. You can be working from your tablet or iPhone, and you can actually start the process of constructing a store. You can trap the core details, and you can come back later to complete the store. So here's the steps that are involved. So here's an index and navigation for creating a store. And I'm going to explain each step. So this might take us 5 minutes, but nonetheless, once you create 1 or 2 stores, you'll fly through this. So first things first, we need to assign a name to a store. So in this case, we'll put in, basis prep. So we'll just make a prep school, identity here. So InkSoft will tell you, hey, that name is available. And of course, you can put in a directory. So where will that web store be accessible from? So the schema here is going to be your branded domain name. So let's say that your domain name is customtshirtsarizona.com. The URL for this store would read customtshirts.com/basisprep. So of course you can configure or even assign a custom domain name to this store if you elect to. So what we're going to do is now go to the next step. And InkSoft is going to give you a little green indication at the very top, your progress in that store creation. And you can always go back in time. So if you want to adjust a step, you can simply go to that index and choose to navigate to a different step in that sequence. Now the next stage is really the decision of whether this store is going to be publicly accessible or whether it's going to be private/password protected. So if you're going to make a store private, that would require the participant or the consumer that they have a password in order to enter the store. Now this is great for those fulfillment programs and campaigns that we mentioned. So if you are managing fulfillment for a company and you want to make sure that only certain persons can enter that store and transact, well, you'll do so by making it password protected. Now the other use case for this, we have customers that will sell to, do decorated product for, city government function like, Maricopa County SWAT or sheriff. Of course, those organizations may want to really protect closely, their printed goods, even though they might be for sale to employees. They still want to protect who has access to those officiated products. Now here, default is public, so anybody can access the store. Contact information. So remember, when somebody's on that online store and they click contact us, whose information will they see? So you can choose to display your information, or that could be maybe the PTO president or the coach or the organizer. So you can actually override the information. There's also a contact form that's on the contact us page. So you can actually let your customers choose to send you a message. Maybe it's an innocuous question that's going to be emailed directly to you, or they can choose to contact via the contact information that you elect to display. By default, this is just going to use your main contact information. So I can click next if I'm not going to personalize that. This is likely my favorite step in this process, which again is uploading the logo that would represent that store. Now the beauty of this process, as mentioned, is that InkSoft will automatically establish the colors for that particular campaign. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and grab an InkSoft logo here as a way to represent this store. And I will point out, this is a really cool feature, that you can actually upload a vector file. So in this case, I just browsed for an SVG version, a vector SVG. So whether it be raster or vector, you can upload both. There, believe it or not, is benefits to uploading a vector file to represent as the logo. So you never have to worry about fidelity or quality of resolution. It's infinitesimal. Now, if I scroll down to the bottom, I can upload a logo. And let me show you. It's probably easier to showcase what that represents. Let's go back to a square iteration of the logo. And I'll grab a vector file as well. So this is going to be a square icon that would represent in the web browsing bar. So here you can see an example of the store name displaying in the tab, and you can see that logo that appends right before the store name. I can go ahead and click next. That's a step that you can skip, mind you. So let's say you don't have the store logo or branding yet. You can choose to skip past that step and come back and attend to it later if you choose. I will point out as a tip, many InkSoft customers will actually create hypothetical designs to then showcase, or excuse me, hypothetical stores as part of their selling opportunity. So they'll actually build an example store that's branded to that organization or committee or group, and they'll deliver that as a showcase of capability. So think of it as a visual way to sell, to say, hey, here's how we're different than the other organizations down the street or in the area. We offer fully managed fulfillment programs and fundraising programs, and here's an example of what your organization's store would look like. Now, the next step in the sequence is production schedule. So in this case, I can choose whether I want to generate these products on demand, which means maybe I've pre-printed product and they're inventoried for fulfillment purposes, and we're just going to drop ship as they come in. Or, probably more commonly, we have an expected production date. So the example is, hey, for this spiritware program, we're taking orders for 15 days. At the end of that period, we're going to go ahead and move along in production. So you have full control over whether you're printing and producing on demand, or you're establishing a production date that would allow you to collect order details for that range of time, end the campaign, and then go and do bulk production. Shipping methods. You can elect to add a shipping option. Here you can save these for default for future stores, so you don't have to rethink. Maybe every store you're always going to offer a UPS ground or USPS ground or FedEx ground as a shipping option. I can elect to add a shipping option or not. Maybe it's strictly going to be pickup. But think about those opportunities where it's a spiritware program or a local program, and maybe you want to give the parent or the participant the option of getting a product shipped to them, or you want to give them the option of picking up to save on shipping. So in that case, let me kind of go back in time. I will say, yes, I want to create a pickup location. You can put in the location name, the address, you can put in the processing time and the pickup details and instruction. So think of it this way, hey, you can pick up your child's spiritware from their homeroom teacher, and it'll be available on this time and this date. They'll need to bring a copy of their receipt as confirmation. So whatever instructions you want to provide, you can do so by using the pickup option. So in this case, I'll opt to not include a pickup option so we can move along in this process. Believe it or not, we're almost done here. One of the steps that oftentimes is just saved as default for future is checkout settings. How do you want to let your clients pay you? Do you want to require payment? Do you want to make it optional and they can arrange for payment later? Do you want to accept POs from those customers you've marked as having permission to check out with a purchase order, like Coach or like the marketing manager? Or do you want to let anybody check out with a PO? Now, if they are checking out with a PO, do you want to require that they actually attach a purchase order? So again, a lot of configuration here. So make your decisions. You can move along in that process. I actually misrepresented what was my favorite feature in this process. This is my favorite feature: the ability to establish custom checkout fields. So as I mentioned with this uniform program, oftentimes at the product level, you need to collect individual personalization information, like employee name. Now, in this instance, think about those opportunities where you need to collect information from each individual consumer for delivery, for logistic distribution purposes. So think of it this way, in the fulfillment example: enter your employee ID, enter your employee department, or select your employee department, select your coach, select your team name. You know, think about all of that information that is great to collect, that you have to collect on a paper order form. Custom checkout fields allow you to collect any information you need, whether it be text entry or selection from a dropdown. So you can make a field required. You can choose whether it be a text entry or a multiple choice dropdown. In this case, I can say select your employee department, and I can put in field instructions. You know, please select your primary department. I'll just put this for an example. Then you can put in the choices: Department A, Department B, Department C. You just simply put a return for each choice. And here you actually see a preview. So we actually showcase what that would look like to your customer in the checkout sequence. So these are such a powerful way to, again, collect all the data you might need. Again, I could put in enter employee name or employee badge number, or whatever it might be. And this is a great way to collect whatever information you need. You can choose the order in which that displays in checkout. Now, InkSoft will also provide reporting that will go along with this. So you'll have a clear report of the 1,000 orders from the store. You know, what is the custom personalization information? What is the custom checkout field information? So you can align production, distribution, packaging, whatever moving parts are involved. All right, so as we progress, store notifications. You can create any array of notifications. So I can put in, for my production manager, I want them to get an instant notification. Me, as the business operator, I want an end of the day summary. My partner, the marketing manager that's responsible for this on the client side, I want them to get a shipping notification when products ship, or instant, or any array. So you can put in an email address, you can choose which notifications a customer will get, and you can save those. So great way to communicate to internal stakeholders, but also external persons. Now, social media, In the bottom of the online store, in the footer, do you want to display your social media channels, or do you want to promote your partner? Maybe the organization, the 5K, the corporate store. Maybe you want to promote their social media channels. That can all be done from this interface here. And I'll just put in Twitter. And this is a great time to plug InkSoft. If you're not following us, you're crazy. So make sure to follow us. We're very active on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, of course, YouTube. We have almost 1,000 videos on YouTube. But we are doing a twice a month podcast series with industry experts, 4 blog posts a month, a lot of great educational content. So make sure to follow us if you're not doing that yet. All right, we're almost done, believe it or not. We have a few final steps here. Store policies. This is a legal requirement in many states. This is most certainly great best practices and policy for credit card processing, having terms of use, privacy policy. This is a great way to display custom messaging or terms that you want on your website. So we've already done the favor of putting in sort of standard terms. Again, the state of California requires this. So to be in compliance, we already have your back. However, you can edit and modify these. For example, the thank you message that would display in the checkout is a great way to put in additional marketing messaging. Hey, help maximize the fundraising effort for Hillcrest Cougars. Share this coupon code, with your friends and family for a 10% savings. Whatever kind of messaging you want, even instruction, can display in the final checkout screen, and you can use this interface to control that. All right, so let's go to the next step. Are you going to use your core domain name with the store directory, or do you want to assign a custom domain? So think about if you have a massive selling opportunity that has national implication, it's newsworthy, there's going to be PR. You might want to buy a $10 domain for, whatever organization you're trying to promote. So icebucketchallengetees.com is an example. So each of these stores could be branded with your domain name and the directory, or a custom top level domain. It is your choice. All right, so next, do you have products configured? Have you already talked to your customer about what product needs they have? Have you already gone through that presentation? So if you haven't, you can skip past this step. You can come back later. If you already have products built and configured, well, you can access those products right from this interface here. So you can choose to add products right into this workflow and establish those on the store itself. So in this case, I'll just add 4 products to this store that I've already configured, and I'll complete the store setup process. So at this stage, you are done. You've just built an online store. I can typically build a store in less than a minute. Of course, I explained it, so it took us a little bit longer. But the point is, this is the simplest possible way to build an online store. You don't have to have a web development background or experience. All you do is go step by step and answer basic questions and control, options. At the end of that process, you can click to go to the store where you can introduce the fundraising component. You can introduce any of the functionality that you want. So in this case, I can go to edit mode. I can say, hey, we need to add a countdown or a fundraising component. I want to add featured products to the homepage. So with that said, I'm going to add products. I'm going to decide which products should be on that homepage here. So I can go and elect to add more product if I want and choose to display those now on the website. And then you can, again, do all the styling things like, hey, I want these products to display in 3 column. So all 3 products do display on the front. Then I also want to put in a heading, on sale, act now. I want to display the manufacturer and the SKU to bring context and reference. So all you do is click save and publish, and those updates you've made now reflect on that online store. Now, the last thing I do before we get into Q&A is I actually want to go back to an earlier example. And what I want to do is kind of take you step by step through the checkout sequence. And that's a part that I skipped, but I think is very valuable. So you see what the InkSoft shopping cart looks like and the whole checkout experience. And actually, maybe that wasn't a mistake. This is a great way to kind of tie everything together, right? So what we're going to do is look at the customer journey and experience from top to bottom. So let's say that they're responding to a Facebook message from the principal imploring the parents to help maximize fundraising, or it's coach promoting, hey, get your official uniforms and spirit wear and fan cloth from this link. So point is, a customer is going to visit a web property, an online store. They're going to click on a product that they have interest in. This is the InkSoft product detail representation. So here there's zoom function, so I can see the graphic or the imprint, the decoration. I can see the different sides. I can see a description. Of course, I can access a size chart. I have the ability to see all the attributes for the product. So here's a call to action that the product is on sale. It normally is $19.99, but it's on sale for $14.99, so I save $5. We just did a marketing tip that's about to release, and really it's the most used pricing strategy amongst, the leading e-tailers and retailers, which is marking products on sale. So often, and in fact, I think on Amazon Prime Day, Amazon actually artificially increased the price of many products to only offer a discount. So they artificially increased cost, offered a discount to provide that perceived value and that sense of urgency. So you can take advantage of that marketing strategy. So of course, here's all the product details, what styles of product are available. So in this case, I can see as a consumer, there's 3 different styles that are available. I can see the different sizes that are available. And here's a call to any of the personalization fields. This, in this case, this is optional, so I don't have to configure it. One of my favorite features from a customer journey experience, using myself as an example, as a parent of 3, how easy is this bulk order function? Where as a parent or as an organizer or an admin, I can go and configure an order for Amelie, Charlotte, and Aiden to get their spirit wear for Sandpiper or their uniform for I-9 Soccer League or whatever it might be. So very conveniently, I can configure the product color, size, personalization, and quantity. I'm going to order 2 for Aiden knowing he's going to lose one of his. So what I can do now is click add to cart. I can continue shopping, or I can click view cart to continue in that checkout sequence and process. Now, we studied every single shopping cart and checkout experience to determine best practices. So we looked at Amazon, we looked at all the different providers, and we think that we've created an amazing shopping cart experience. Again, this is responsive, so you can see if your customer is shopping on a mobile device, notice how that mobile proceed to checkout button appends at the very bottom. It's constant as they scroll through. So everything that we do, including the checkout sequence, is 100% mobile responsive. So the purpose of a shopping cart, and I have a ton of product here in the shopping cart, is to let people add product and continue shopping. At the point that they're done configuring their cart, they can click proceed to checkout. And of course, that's the transactional steps, billing, shipping, all the details. So I'm going to take you through this, and we'll just spend a minute, and then we're going to get to Q&A. So here is a checkout sequence. Here, the first prompt is, what's your email address to get your receipt? Now, when I say best practices for checkout, so many checkouts require you to create an account or require you to check out as a guest. Well, that's friction. That's added step. It's annoying. So instead of forcing that, we do let people log into an existing account, or they can opt to say, hey, I want my order confirmation, my order acknowledgement. So what I'm going to do is just go in and put in my email address so I can receive that. So again, no friction, but you're collecting vital information. Here's an example of 2 of the custom checkout fields that were added to the store. Enter your child's name. That's required. So in this case, I can enter a child's name or whatever it might be. Select your child's coach. So I'm collecting data now. I know who the player participant is, and I know who the coach is that would be responsible for delivering to all of his respective players or her respective players. So in this case, I'll click continue. Before I do that, I'll point out that here you can apply a coupon. So if you are doing a promotional campaign to say, save 10% off with this discount code, only applies to t-shirts, well, not only will InkSoft let you configure that discount code, but allow your customers to take advantage of it here. If they have a gift certificate, they could also enter that gift certificate and apply it to this checkout process. Now in this case, I'll click continue to go on to the next state in the sequence, which is shipping. So remember, in the store creation process, you can configure both pickup as an option, but also configure shipping. So hey, as a parent, you know what? I don't trust my kids to pick it up. I'm just gonna have it shipped to me. That's my preference. So in this case, I can choose a shipping, if I'm logged in, I can choose an address from my address book or elect to get it picked up. It's a matter of preference. So I'll click continue in the next state where I can choose how I want to pay, and that's based on the checkout settings that you provided and permitted. So in this case, do I want to pay with a credit card, a PO? InkSoft is integrated with PayPal Express. Mind you, enabling PayPal Express can boost shopping cart conversion by 17% because a lot of people recognize PayPal, they trust it, they know they can log in securely. It's convenient, they don't have to go find their wallet. So in this case, I can go ahead and check out with a fake I have this set to test mode, so I can enter in a fake credit card here. It's basically 4 followed by 15 ones. So let me enter in those now. And then I can go ahead and configure future expiration date as part of the test credentials here. Choose a shipping address, again, if I'm logged in for my address book, and then go along in the next state to see a final sort of summary of my order. So this is sort of the last stage as a consumer where I can make changes. I can, I have the ability to edit, pick up billing information. At this stage, I can now say place order, in which case InkSoft is going to go ahead and process that order using your integrated payment processor. Then it's going to respond with a thank you confirmation message. Thank you, your order has been placed. Here's your unique order number. Here's the order amount. Remember, we had the ability to configure that thank you message that would display here. So this is a place where you can put in a bold, large, promotional call out or special instructions. Don't forget, we'll process all the orders on this date, and your child should expect to be able to pick these up on this date. And here the customer can reprint a receipt, they can view the order details, leave feedback. Mind you, this feedback will get copied to you. The InkSoft Success Squad support team gets copied in on this as well. So we'll bring to your attention any sort of feedback, customer questions to make sure you got acknowledgement of that, just to make sure everything was processed soundly. This is one of my favorite features with this shopping cart solution that we've developed from the ground up. So remember, we're not forcing a consumer to create an account to complete their checkout, but we're offering it as an option at the very end. Hey, you just bought 17 items, share them with your friends and family. This is a great way to let a consumer promote their shopping experience. Maybe they love the church they attend and they want to share a really sweet t-shirt that they just bought that promotes their church, and they want to share that with their community. Well, they have the ability to kind of repurpose and recirculate their shopping experience and promote. So great way to leverage and maximize selling opportunity by letting your customers take advantage of promoting their social shopping experience. Lastly, I can create an account here on the right-hand side. So remember, I wasn't forced to at the beginning. I'm not forced to now, but I can create an account that would let me, again, get access to future promotional opportunities, to be able to log in to my account. So that's an option here. So that is a tour of the InkSoft online store solution from top to bottom. As a quick summary, this technology is a way for you as a decorator, promotional product distributor to maximize your selling opportunity by offering a simple portal for all of your customers to order from you. The value of that is it's a great experience, whether it be on a mobile device or a computer. It's convenient, meaning your customers can access it when they want to do business with you, whether that be at midnight, 3 a.m., whatever it might be. It's professional. It's a point of differentiation. It's also expected. Customers expect, thanks to Amazon and other online retailers, they expect product in 2 days, right? They expect convenience. They expect accessibility. So you can now align with customer and consumer expectation. So that is the webinar. I do want to point out that you can visit inksoft.com, where you can, of course, learn more about our solution. If you are interested in learning more, my advice to you is to reach out to one of our experts, and you can schedule a personalized one-on-one tour of InkSoft and learn all about the back office of InkSoft and all the functionality we have, because it extends well beyond just the store technology. InkSoft also has an online design studio.